Over the years, many people have compared Social Security to a Ponzi scheme. Social Security may not meet the technical definition of a Ponzi scheme since there's no deception about how it works, it doesn't promise outsized investment returns, and it's a legal government program. However, Social Security and Ponzi schemes do share the same fundamental flaw. Both rely on new money and participants entering the system in order to pay out earlier ones. Ponzi schemes work by luring people into investing money into the scheme by promising them lucrative returns on their investment. When people then invest that money into the Ponzi scheme, the orchestrators turn around and use that new money to pay the returns that they promised to earlier and existing investors. This deception can continue as long as the ringleaders of the Ponzi scheme are able to continue to get enough new money flowing into the scheme to cover the money they need to pay to existing investors. But as soon as they are no longer able to get new money flowing into the scheme and enough people begin to withdraw money, everything unravels as they are insolvent and can't afford to pay existing investors to maintain the deception. Social Security runs on similar principles, and because of this faces the same basic problem. The government requires current workers and employers to pay taxes into the Social Security system in order to cover the Social Security benefits of current retirees. In return for paying these taxes, when current workers eventually retire, they are then supposed to also receive Social Security benefits in the future from the next generation of workers. In a nutshell, the current generation pays for the benefits of the prior generation, and the new participants in the system pay out the old ones. This basic setup means that the problem facing Social Security is very similar to the one that causes Ponzi schemes to eventually collapse. The system works fine when there are enough young people entering the workforce and paying Social Security for all of the older retired people who are withdrawing money. But right now, that's simply not the case. As young Americans continue to have less and less children, birth rates in the United States have been in decline and overall demographics are aging. Last year, the US fertility rate was around 1.7 children per woman, which is well below the replacement rate of 2.1 children that's required for a generation to be able to sustain the same population level. This long-term trend of declining birth rates has led to persistent demographic changes and an aging population that is becoming more and more top-heavy, which spells major trouble for Social Security. The United States Census estimates that 21% of the US population will be over the age of 65 by 2030, compared to 17% of the population in 2020. And this trend is expected to continue to grow, with people over 65 making up more and more of the total population as current generations age and birth rates slow. This presents an existential threat for Social Security because the program is under pressure from both sides of the equation. Not only are older retirees expected to increase, which will also increase the amount of money leaving Social Security, but fewer young and working taxpayers means that there will also be less money entering into Social Security to cover these withdrawals. This lack of new payers into Social Security means that the program is at risk of being insolvent by 2033, according to the US Treasury, at which point Social Security will only be able to pay 80% of its scheduled benefits. The report warned that the program's finances are not sustainable in the long run. While Social Security's long-term solvency is at risk, it's possible that its lifespan could be extended through tax increases, benefit reductions, or a combination of both. Raising Social Security-related taxes would bring in more revenue to the program, and pushing back the retirement age where people are eligible for Social Security would lower the amount of total payments required. But while an eventual restructuring like this is likely, these changes are only really band-aid fixes for the larger overall problem. Population decline is creating a major generational imbalance, meaning that fewer young people are being expected to shoulder proportionally more and more overall costs. And even the supposed solutions to extending Social Security's lifespan, like raising taxes and cutting benefits, are essentially shifting more burden onto current and future generations, as they are being expected to pay more and receive less benefits when they eventually retire. While Social Security may have been built with good intentions, the societal dangers of population decline and people choosing not to have children are very real, And because of that, Social Security is arguably in an unwinnable situation. The government can't simply end Social Security without breaking their promise to all of the existing retirees who already spent their lifetime paying into the system with the promise that it would be there for them in retirement. But the system is also arguably built on the unsustainable premise that future generations will always be capable of paying for the prior ones. The way Social Security was initially structured has created this inherent problem, and it's only getting worse with population decline. But be sure to let me know your thoughts on Social Security in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more finance content. Thanks.